What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video for my Omi homies. And at the time of this recording, Omi is back as well, pumping past 0.004, moving along quite nicely. In this video, I'll talk about the price action, some recent news regarding Veve and the Omi token. I'll be giving you my perspective on some interesting information that I found, and I'll be talking about an upcoming catalyst later in the year, the Veveverse, what I think it might be, and how I think it might affect the price. So if you like the content, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the homie Daniel Lee, who invited me on his show for a live stream the other day. We had a great conversation about the Omi token and the overall crypto market, so I really appreciate Daniel putting me on. I'm a smaller channel, and a lot of people who watched that live stream have since jumped over and subbed to my channel, pushing me over 500 subs, and we're almost at 600 subs now, which is really amazing to me because I just started this channel like 4 or 5 weeks ago. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I look forward to growing the channel and creating more content and collaborating with Daniel again and more people in the Omi community. With that being said, let's take a look at the price of Omi, which continues to rise, even though it's pulled back just a little over the last few hours. We went up about 20% yesterday, pumping all the way up to about 0.0048, almost hitting that half a penny mark. We've since dumped off a bit, which is quite normal. Overall, the price action is very bullish. This, of course, is because we have a number of positive catalysts on the way, none bigger than the immutable X migration, which is going to be a springboard for other catalysts coming up, including new token burning mechanisms, new ways to use Omi in the Veve app, interoperability with Veve's NFTs, and of course, the Veveverse, which is coming out later in the year and is something that I want to talk about in this video. But what about the current price? Can we expect Omi to continue running and get past that half a penny mark, or will it correct and reverse back to that 0.003 mark? The truth is that no one knows, but I do expect it to go higher and continue running, just because I feel like we have built out a base and gone sideways for a while, and now we do have these catalysts that are coming one after the other. Of course, we have to keep in mind that this is still a small project. It's still got a market cap under $1 billion. And whenever you have a smaller project with a smaller market cap, it is easier for whales to affect the price. My feeling is that although we could see it correct some more, I do think it's going to continue marching on. And I look at a project like Solana as a comparable, not in the projects themselves. Solana, of course, is a totally different type of project than Omi in a totally different sector. But if you look at it, it built out a base over a long period of time, and it was undervalued when being compared to something like Ethereum. It was a fraction of Ethereum's market cap, even though it had many of the things that Ethereum 2 is promising to have. And so a couple weeks ago, we saw this run up from like $40 all the way up to $65. And then it cooled off just a little bit, but then it ran up some more to $73. Then it cooled off a little bit, went sideways a little bit, and then it took off again to $110 and then to $148. And right now we're sitting at $149 for Solana. So could Omi behave in the same way that Solana has been behaving? I think it's possible because similarly, we built out a base over time and went sideways. Meanwhile, in my opinion, the coin was undervalued, and now we have a number of catalysts coming on. So I do think that it's possible that we see a similar run for Omi that Solana is having. Will it happen? No one knows for sure. No one can predict the future, but it's just something to keep in mind. It's kind of like a comparable that I have in my mind for how it could behave in the coming weeks and months. But when we talk about the coming years, I came across some information that made me even more bullish about the space that we're in right now, this time in history when we have a brand new asset class like crypto. In a previous video, I talked about how early we are in this whole crypto market and how if you feel like you missed on Bitcoin and Ethereum because their prices have skyrocketed, we're really still early. And that's because crypto as an asset class is just getting started. If you take all of the crypto projects in the world and add them up, you have a market cap of just over $2 trillion, which is really quite small. It's less than Apple's market cap. This will no doubt grow exponentially, and I found this graph that kind of reinforces that idea. Take a look at this. This is a chart of GDP over the last 2,000 years. Here's a simple definition of GDP. The GDP is the total of all value added created in an economy. So, value added means the value of goods and services that have been produced minus the value of the goods and services needed to produce them. So, it's value added in an economy. And look at how the world's GDP has grown over the last 20 years. It's been a straight line up. Now, this really started right around this dot right here, 1900, which kicked off the Industrial Revolution. That's when technology first allowed us to produce goods efficiently and for, mass amounts of people. But then this really took off as technology continued to improve and we had the tech revolution of the internet, which we're now only starting to fully realize. And so this line has gone straight up. And now with the blockchain revolution combined with the rise of artificial intelligence, I think this line will continue to just shoot straight up. All right, but how does this chart relate to crypto and how does it relate to Omi in particular? After looking at this chart, I went back and looked at the top 5 companies in the year 2010. So look at the market caps of the top 5 companies in 2010. The highest market cap was $343 billion. Compare that to 2020 and you have Apple at $1.5 trillion. That's since gone on to surpass $2 trillion. So there was no company with a $400 billion market cap in 2010. By the year 2021, all of these companies are now trillion-dollar companies. Facebook just became a trillion-dollar company like a month ago or so. Now project out to the year 2030, and you're likely to see Apple at something like a $6 trillion market cap. Microsoft could be a $5 or $6 trillion market cap. Amazon, all of these companies, Google. This is the exponential growth in GDP reflected in the market cap of the biggest companies. And also pay attention to the sector these companies are in. They are all big tech companies. How does this relate to crypto? The same way that big tech exploded in the last decade, crypto is now exploding. You're soon going to see Bitcoin once again join the $1 trillion market cap. And within the next 10 years, Ethereum will likely be a multi-trillion dollar project. Cardano could likely be a $1 trillion project. And there are a number of other coins which could be $1 trillion. Now, do I think Omi can get that big? I don't think Omi can reach $1 trillion market cap. However, if a $100 billion market cap for a project like Omi seems like crazy today, refer back to these numbers because back in 2010, a $2 trillion company seemed crazy. And refer back to this chart because this is the rate at which the GDP is growing. So as I've said in previous videos, it is a really exciting time to be in crypto. We're in an emerging space. This is an asset class that's in its infancy. Also in its infancy is the Veve project, which continues to roll out new things. Yesterday, they announced their next Marvel digital comic drop. So while Marvel month is over, the Marvel drops continue. The first issue of What If from 1977 will drop on Tuesday, September 7th. We also had the hint of Star Trek coming, which is exciting for Star Trek fans and just broadens the number of collectibles and the types of collectibles in the Veve app, expanding the ecosystem. One of the biggest catalysts coming this year, of course, is the Veveverse. It's also probably the one that I'm most excited about because it just opens up literally like a world of possibilities. There's been a lot of discussion of what people think the Veveverse will be, how it will affect the price when it finally does roll out. First, I wanted to talk about what exactly a metaverse is. And if you're not familiar, the term metaverse was created by the writer of a sci-fi book called Snow Crash in the year 1993. And it's basically a collection of 3D worlds you explore as an avatar. Ready Player One is another interpretation of the metaverse where kind of like the digital and the physical world are melded through like virtual reality glasses and augmented reality glasses. And I've talked about how Apple and Google are working on creating those products. But right now we have virtual worlds, things that we might not even think of as metaverses like Roblox and Fortnite. These are online worlds where people, communities interact with one another, engage in gaming, and even attend, Travis Scott concerts and things like this. Now, the Omi team has said that when Veveverse comes out, it will have light gaming. And I do think it has the potential to underwhelm people when it's first rolled out. However, in time, I do see the Veveverse as something similar to Roblox in that it'll allow people to come together as a community, be social, use their NFTs, and engage in a number of simple mini games. I think it'll be set up as a theme park. The team has said that they do envision it as kind of like a theme park. They've likened Veve to like a Disney of NFTs. Now, in our live stream, Dan also mentioned that he thinks that Veve is also a little behind other gaming projects, and I do agree with him. I don't think this started out as a gaming project. It started out as a collectibles project that kind of naturally and organically grew as the sector grew. And so the Veveverse that we get at the end of the year or whenever it drops is not the Veveverse that we're going to have, 1, 2, 3 years from now. It should have a lot of great features like providing people with opportunities to interact with one another, visit each other's showrooms, the ability to buy land. But we're not going to get fully developed games within the Veveverse when it first drops. Dan speculated that Marvel Mighties might have been created specifically for the Veveverse. And I don't doubt that they were. They do seem like they were tailor-made for something like Veveverse. I definitely think that the team has a long-term plan with the NFTs they're dropping and how they will be incorporated within the overall project. But I think that Marvel will occupy one section of the metaverse. In the long term, the Veveverse is going to provide so many opportunities, and there are going to be so many possibilities with what they can do. From buying your own land to, building upon your showroom, to buying accessories for your NFTs, to actually using your NFTs, and possibly competing with people to earn Omi, similar to games like Axie Infinity. So the possibilities are endless, and it's a catalyst that I'm greatly looking forward to. But it's also a catalyst that has the potential to underwhelm when it's first rolled out. And it's something we'll have to keep an eye on as it approaches and when it does roll out. Now, it'll be interesting to see how Omi reacts to the recent price action. Will it continue to run up like Solana, or will we see a correction? Time will tell. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hitting the like button helps the video get out to more people. Subscribing to the channel helps me reach my short-term goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers. As always, I hope you all have a great week. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. I will see you in the next video.